Okay, so I've decided to do a few videos going over essentially my recommendations and sort of things I've learnt about Umamusume for both people who want to start the game as well as people, existing players who might feel they're not doing so well. So maybe something I know I've figured out can help. But just getting into the start of the game, you'll get a bunch of permanent release missions, so basically release missions part A and release missions part B. Each one has like 7 days worth of missions, which you have forever to do. You don't have, there's no time limit. You don't have to worry about anything. It's actually pretty good. At the end of that, you get a bunch of free stuff, including a guaranteed 3-star horse ticket and a guaranteed SSR support card ticket. The other thing you get when you first start is you're giving one basically choose your own 3-star horse out of the basic starter lineup. So if we go into the scout thing, right? So scout is basically gacha. So the basic is the horses you can choose from that is either basic Special Week, Silent Suzuka, Tokatail, Maruzinski, Yuri Cup, Takishado, Jiro McQueen, Symboli Rudolph, and Raishawa. So you get to choose one of those from start. So you get one free horse. And just to briefly explain how the game is, it's basically a story game. So it's a training simulator that's which is usually it, just training simulator games, which are mostly story, right? There is gameplay, and the gameplay can be fun to a degree, but the most important thing, the reason you want to play the game, is the story. And if you have no interest in actually reading the story, you're probably actually not going to enjoy the game to the degree that you would otherwise. There's a lot of the grinding you might have to do, like for events and stuff. I usually motivate myself as like, I want to do this, or I want to do this, and usually it's based on like things that happen in the story, like each scale of story. So that sort of gives me stuff to do or want to do. So the way I see it is each horse skill you have is about 2 to 3 hours of story. And once you've actually gone through one playthrough and read most majority of their story, a one career playthrough probably takes like half an hour to an hour tops, based on like just skipping everything you haven't read before. So that's sort of the basic thing. Like if you have no interest in reading stuff, you're probably not going to enjoy the game. To a point, yeah. And the goal of the game is the story. Like the gameplay itself is just gameplay. It's an additional thing. It is a story game. Carrots are the premium currency. And then you've got monies, which is the free currency. And there's also something called support points, which are used to level up your support cards, which are also very, very important. But going briefly into carrot packs they have. So they have free, basically, once off start, like rookie starter packs you can buy. First one being it's a discounted 600 carats, which also gives you a whole bunch of monies and support points. And then you've got the other two packs, Pack A or Pack B and Pack C, which are not actually discounted. They're just basically the same price as 1500 carats. You get 1500 carats. And then B gives you a guaranteed 3-star trainee ticket or hunt skill ticket. And C gives you guaranteed SSR support card. If you're willing to spend money on the game, they're not too bad for like guaranteed stuff. If you're willing to spend a bit on the game, like a tiny amount, like some money on the game, but not a huge amount, I'd honestly recommend probably just get the Rookie Starter Pack A. And then there's a daily carrot pack, which is like $70 US. You get 500 paid carrots. And then you get 1500 non-paid carrots over a 30-day period. And even if you miss the days, after like a week after the period's over, they give you the ones you missed. Which is basically every 3 days you get one basically 10 pull on the gacha. Everything else is like a bit. It depends how much you're going to spend, basically. If you want to spend a tiny bit, there are decent options to do so. Now, to get into what should you spend your carrots on, the most important thing in this game for gameplay's perspective is the support cards. And you basically want to spend, like, at least at the beginning, you want to spend most your cash, your unpaid carrots and shit on the support card banners. And then generally with the horse skill banners, you can see what horse skills we are going to get in the future based on what we've got released in Japan. And essentially, rise it, look there for horses you actually are interested in. And then you can just save up for those banners at some point in the future. But initially, I would highly recommend you just spend most of it on support cards. It's hugely important for a gameplay loop. Like you don't even just like the SRs, like the gold ones also are very, very useful. And generally that's what you'll be aiming for with your initial carrots, is like you'll hope you get some SSR ones, which are the rainbow ones, but you really want to build up a decent amount of your gold ones so you actually have decent choices, which we'll go into later when I do a separate video on sort of support cards as well as like an actual training playthrough with recommendations of things I would do. As for going back to the free horse skill you get, out of all the free horse skills you can choose for free at the start of the game, you kind of have to pick something you like. It's sort of like, again, it's just story, it's like choosing a different story. Now, if you wanted a recommendation, like Taki Shuttle is actually really good in a way that I didn't mind her story. I actually liked her as a character, unlike some of the other horses, which I kind of don't particularly click with. But she's also quite easy because she's a short distance horse, and short distance horses are a lot easier to actually win the game at, like with an actual good ending for their career modes. She can also run dirt races as well as turf races, so she's versatile and relatively easy to actually train. One more thing I might briefly mention is how much carrots you get a week. So essentially you get probably like 200 carrots from the daily missions or daily login bonuses, as for the 7th day one is 550. I think you get like, there might be 2 lots of 20 or something like that. And then you have daily quests, which basically you get 30 each day from either completing all your daily missions and then a career playthrough. Which isn't much, but it adds up. But you also get a ton of carrots just for just doing stuff. Like the main stories, the main rewards that you get tons of. Like every time you first use a horse, you'll get like 100 basically. Another way is trophies. So basically there's free trophied cups. There's either, so there's grade 1s, grade 2s and grade 3s. So grade 1s give, I think 150 carrots every time you win one, like for the first time you win it and unlock it. And grade 2s I think are 50 and grade 3s are 30. So, and there's a lot. So you can basically earn tons. The early period of your playing, you're going to earn tons of carrots just from unlocking these trophies, which is a good way to help support your carrot addiction. And there's some extra ones, which is like the specific ones for all the specific ones for the career modes, and then each Legends race, which we'll get into a bit later as well, which was a bunch I missed because I was in Japan. So you get a lot of carrots for free as well, just from playing the game, which is actually really good. Occasionally they give out a decent amount of carrots as well, or free stuff. And then every now and then there'll be events, which are not really good source of carrots, but they're a good source of free support cards. Like you usually get 1 or 2 support cards for free, which you can either be both rainbows, or you might get 1 rainbow and 1 gold one. And they usually won't be as good as the ones from the that you can pull in the gacha, but they usually still be fairly decent and quite usable. So it's worth doing that. You usually have to do quite a few career runs to actually unlock everything, but again, over the course of the 2 weeks that events are up for, it's not actually that difficult to do, especially as you start doing better and better and better. Okay, so I just want to briefly go over all the essentially the race menu, which is basically your dailies and stuff, like, or part of your dailies, at least, I guess is the best way to put it. So what you have here is you have sort of 4 buttons. So room match is like a custom match thing where you can do whatever the hell you want with no rewards, and at least I don't think there's any rewards. You just do fun stuff like entirely gold tube races and shit like that. And then we have team trials, which with team trials, if we look up the top of our screen here, we have our RP, which is currently 4 out of 5. So essentially every 2 hours you get another RP, and use RP to run in team trials. Rewards themselves for actually running with team trials aren't actually that, like, not that good, but they also don't take a huge amount of time to do. The biggest rewards are actually the class rewards. So how it works is the first time you get from, like, so you start off class 1, I believe, and when you eventually get up to class 2, where you get, I don't know how much you get, but basically you get a lot. So the class 6 promotion, for example, is 1500 carrot and a bunch of friend points. But the rewards are pretty high, I think. But all, like, and at least some of them are like, these probably in the thousands and stuff. I don't know exactly how I can't see them. It's really got them in. Yeah, so this is the first time you make it into each class. I think you only go down to, like, you only drop down to, I think, 3, I think. And the next time you go, for example, you drop down classes, like when I was on holiday in Japan, I dropped down to, like, class 3. And every time you basically go back up again, you get a tiny bit. It's not as good as, like, first time, but you get some carrots. And you also get rewards if you maintain the class, right? So if you're in class 5 and you stay in class 5, you get these as well. It's basically the same as promotional rewards, except 6 is even better. And demotion, looks like you get some rewards for demoting as well. Yeah, so that's sort of the main sense of rewards. There's also team rewards. It's like, it's based on how many your team rank rewards. I don't know exactly where they are, but every time you go up in ranks, you get more rewards. We'll just quickly go through one to see how it works. So essentially you're given 3 random opponents. One's usually just above your points, one's quite a bit above, and one's quite a bit lower. I do think you get extra score for going against harder ones, but we'll just go down the middle because it's easier. Just down the middle, always easy. And what happens is, so they have their team, you have your team. So at first in the lower classes, you only have like 1 and 2 slots. But once you get to, like, class 3 or 4, you actually get 3 horses in each length of race. And essentially what happens is your horses are basically competing against their horses and a bunch of other horses. And your goal is you want to win more races than they win, basically. So you can always watch them, you can just, yeah. So in order to win a race, one of your horses has to come first. So it's possible for neither player to win a race. I'm pretty sure, at least. And then as your horses do, like, basically get score based on their placing, and they get score based on, like, using skills and things like that. So we go see results. So we win, and then we have a total of 81,000 points. And you just keep going through that all 5 races. Lost one, it's fine. Surprised we lost that one, actually. Yeah, so we didn't win the race, like overall. And winning just gives you a bonus points. So all we got was a total of 356k. But yeah, so in a class, you need to reach a certain like percentile of the class to go to the next class. And there will probably be demotion ranges as well and like maintaining ranges. I don't know exactly where they are percentile wise. It could just be upper quartile or lower quartile. Everyone else in the middle. So in order to go to the next class, we currently need just under 400,000 points, which will actually change because this is the first day of this and it resets every week. And as more people get on and get the high scores, this will go up or down potentially if people just start sucking. So that's sort of how the points work and how the promotion and stuff works. We just do one more so I can actually show you the actual go over what rewards are. Yeah, so what currently from this one we got nothing found. Oh, we got into promotion range, but yeah, so what we've got here, we got an absolute tiny amount of friend points. We've got a single bond point for every horse that took part. And you get a bunch of fans, which each horse individually wins, right? There is chances of getting other prizes, so we'll just do a few more. I think the more you win, the more you better chance that you getting good rewards are. And sometimes you'll see it'll be next to your opponent on the section. There'll be like a present symbol, which basically means a guaranteed good present in that thing. It's always random. And the more wins you do in a row, you get a bigger percentage score. Like you get some bonus points. But then you do lose the streaks again. And just like, yeah, okay. Oh, and one more thing with your daily races, there's these things called daily sales. You get 3 per day. So if we click on shop, I'll show you what they are. So the first two things you can buy are star pieces, which generally aren't worth getting unless you really want that horse, as they're very expensive. The next you have is the alarm clock, which you always buy. It's just worth it. Never don't buy that. And then you do get a bunch of stuff. The support points aren't worth buying. They're not actually efficient like monies wise. You're better off just doing, we'll get into that a bit later. The parfaits aren't really worth getting unless they're not really worth getting. And the shoes early on might actually be worth getting, but once you at a point like I don't need shoes. I have so many shoes, I'm fine. But yeah, the only thing you're guaranteed always buy is your alarm clock. If you have a lot of the cash, like way more than me, like we're talking like 500,000 plus, you can probably buy like everything if you want to do. But you do, being cash poor is actually very much a thing. If we go back to here, we can also show like once you've done your max out, you can spend either, I think it's probably like 30 carrots to recover RP, or one of his mini carrot jellies. Carrot jelly minis? It just gives you one. Never spend the carrots on it because it's not worth it. You'll get so many jellies you don't really care. Like you only really need to do it if you're like, so there we go. So every win we get a guaranteed present drop from this one. So we're gonna do that. So I can show you what the present drops are. Otherwise it's like there's a chance of getting them in. See, the thing lied to us. I'm so disappointed now. We'll do one more. This isn't like gambling, it's just I wanted to show shit and we're just not seeing stuff. We'll do an easy one. Doesn't necessarily mean it's easy, but we'll try it. So because we won, you get, it shows you how much points extra you get. So we got an extra 17,000 points for that. The score is also quite shit because we lost so much as well. Or we just didn't get well. And we got a single like silver prize, which we got 300 support points. We'll take that. The gold prizes you can get carrots, but it's usually only like there's not a huge amount of carrots, so you can get some better stuff. I think you can get some items and stuff potentially. But yeah, that's sort of It's team trials for you. It's basically covering everything in team trials. Now, there's a couple of things I did forget to mention about team trials. Is the support bonus here is based on the level of your support cards as they go up. If this goes up, and this basically gives you, like, so currently I'm getting 2.54% bonus points on top of every point my horse skills earn. And another thing I forgot to mention, which is actually really important, with your team, if all your guilds are running a different style or strategy, so for example, for the dirt we have a front runner, a pace chase, and a late surgeon, you get bonus points. If they're all the same, you miss out on points. So you want to, obviously early on, it'll be harder to do as you don't have access to all the horses, but eventually you want to try. If you have like horses that can do two things, you do some mixing and matching to like get everything there to get the most points as possibly can. And next up we have the other everyday thing. Usually you only get 3 races a day, but what this is how you get your cash and your support points outside of like them giving you a bunch from like events and stuff. You do get some from your career races as well. So basically, essentially, in order to get the hard ones, to win these hard ones, you probably want it's not always guaranteed, but if you can get a horse guild to like B rank, you have a good chance of getting hard ones. So how this works is basically, you select your horse, which this is what I've been using like from like very long time ago, and I haven't bothered changing. And she basically almost guarantees to win. Once you've won the race for the first time, you can use the view results button and just skip the race. If you haven't actually won it before, you do have to watch it, but you can still skip that as well. There we go, we win this. And we'll get rid of that for now. So basically, so the entry to net for this hard race, no matter where you're placing, you always get the you always get 6,000. And then basically you get like, there's all your places. So that's first place, second place, third place, fourth place, fifth place, basically. You get these. So that's a total of like 1,200, right? And if we just do a cash one, there's also rewards for first time one as well. We're a way better horse doing this with, but it's been a while since I've done theirs. Oh, that's disappointing. But yeah, so essentially how this works is we get the entry rewards 3,000, which as in the daily reward shop, as we saw before, that only gets you 500 support points, but when the entry for the actual support point race gets you 6,600. So essentially that's why it's not worth buying support points unless you have tons of cash and you really need them. Because at my level, if I wanted to spend that, I'd have to be racing these, and it's just not worth it. If I need support points, I'm better off doing support point races. But yeah, if you have tons of cash, it's probably actually okay and worth doing. And in order to go to the daily shop, you just go main menu, you click on shop, and it'll be just down here. So those are races that you always have no matter what. Usually you only get 3 daily races a day, but you can basically, currently there's a promotion which gives you an extra 3, which are so good at getting your stuff. So as soon as you start like leveling up support cards and stuff, you just run out of cash and support points and you're poor. So now what we have 2 different types of races going on right now. We have the Champions Meeting, which some people seem to be playing the game, think this is the entire reason you play the game. It's like a proper competitive like PvP event thing, right? But that's not why you play. The game's a story game. Like, so they're getting upset if they're not getting the best support cards and crying and going home when they can't win this. Because I only got where I am now through luck, basically. I think it was pure luck. So essentially you have oh, we can basically look at it, right? Event info. Some browse, we don't want to do that. The rewards aren't actually that great, honestly. So I'm assuming it's just one final race, and depending on how you place between 3 players, you get these. Like, even Group B is not bad. If you can get to the finals, like carrot-wise, you get a tiny bit of carrots. It's not... I don't think it's worth losing sleep over, or like having a cry. You should be enjoying the game, not caring. But yeah, that's kind of difficult. I got really lucky. But yeah, so that's... It's actually almost... The rewards you get from actually competing in it are kind of shit. It's only replacing a reward to actually get you anything. And it takes a while to do, like way longer than Extreme Trials. And the other races we have are Legends races. These, you just do 100%, they're so good. So if you win your first win bonus, you get a whole bunch of stuff, including like 10 stars, which for hers are worth, so let's convert it into cash, right? A 3-star star, fragment thingamabob, is worth 15k. So just winning this once gets you 10. That's 150k worth, right? And you get basically rewards based on placing. So she is a long distance track, so we're just going to go pick our best long distance runner. It's very easy, as she's the only way we lucked out and won the other thing. Right? So the same as this, the first time you win this, you get the trophy, which gives you 100 carrots. And then once you have the trophy, you can start skipping. So there's few results. We annihilated her, which is fine. And then we get another 7 stars. So this is so good to like upgrade your horses, star levels, unlocking new horses. It's a really good way of getting that. You come to that, and then there's also really good daily missions. We're running, so you get what, 10,000 coins a day for one race. And you get free in the rest no matter what. 5,000 supportings for 2, and then 2 more stars. Like, it's so good. And this is why I say just do it no matter what. Even if you can't win, you do it just for like the daily stuff. I just think it's worth it. I really like it. They're not always on. Like it's like an event cycle thing where you usually have 4 horses, and you have like 2 to 3 days against each of one of the 4 horses, and they'll all be the same thing. So they're currently all long distance runners. There'll usually be a theme to it. Yeah, I think that is everything to do with daily racing. And I think after that we'll just be going on to, probably in a separate video, we'll have going more in depth into support cards and actually doing a career run. But I think that's it for this video. If you have any questions, leave them below and I'll answer them as best as I can. And I will see you guys all next time.